Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked coins in modern circulation that could be hiding in your pocket or piggy bank right now. I'm talking about the 1993 Lincoln penny. That's right. A tiny 1-cent coin minted over 3 decades ago that today could be worth an incredible 6 figures depending on the condition, mint error, and grade. Imagine owning a coin with a face value of just 1 cent and realizing it could fetch over $585,000 on the open market. Sounds unreal? Well, stick around because in this video we are going to cover everything you need to know about the 1993 Lincoln penny, including its history, how to identify rare and valuable versions, what collectors are paying today, and what makes this little copper-coated coin a potential gold mine. The 1993 Lincoln penny is made from a composition of copper-plated zinc. That means it has a core of 97.5% zinc and is coated with just 2.5% copper. The coin weighs about 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the obverse side, or the front of the coin, you'll find the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. It's the same design that has been used since 1909 with only minor changes over the years. The reverse side in 1993 still features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a design created by Frank Gasparo in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That design was eventually replaced in 2009, but in 1993 the Lincoln Memorial was still proudly stamped on the back of every penny. So, what makes the 1993 penny so special and why are collectors paying small fortunes for them? There are several reasons and we're going to break them down. First, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. If your 1993 penny is in pristine uncirculated condition and has been professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC with a high mint state rating such as MS67 or higher, it could be extremely valuable. The reason is simple. Coins in high grades are rare because most of them enter circulation and quickly acquire scratches, dings, and discoloration. A coin that remains flawless despite being over 30 years old is truly exceptional. Secondly, mint errors. Some 1993 pennies left the Denver Mint with fascinating mistakes that now make them highly desirable. Examples of these errors include double dies where the image appears to be stamped twice slightly offset, off-center strikes, clipped planchets where a portion of the coin is missing due to an error in the blanking process, and even transitional errors where the metal composition or design from a different year appears on the 1993 coin. These minting mistakes are 1 in a million and collectors will pay top dollar for coins with dramatic and clear errors. Third, there is the phenomenon of registry sets. This is where collectors compete to build the highest graded sets of every coin in a particular series. So if someone is trying to build the ultimate Lincoln cent set from 1959 to the present, they will need a top-grade 1993 penny. That creates demand even for a coin that might otherwise be considered common. Now here comes the part that will really make your jaw drop. According to auction records and coin dealer databases, a 1993 Lincoln penny graded MS69 read by PCGS sold for a whopping $585,330. That's right. Over $500,000 for a 1-cent coin. Why did it sell for so much? Because MS69 is an almost perfect grade and such perfection is almost unheard of in modern coinage. Add to that a strong collector base, limited population at that grade, and the competitive market for high-end coins and you get an astronomical price. Even coins graded slightly lower, such as MS68, have been known to sell for several $1,000s depending on their color, strike quality, and luster. Red coins, meaning coins that still have 95% or more of their original red copper color, are the most valuable. Brown coins or red-brown coins tend to fetch lower prices but can still be worth significantly more than face value, and let's not forget error coins. A 1993 penny with a strong double die obverse can easily bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars if authenticated and properly graded. Off-center errors can also be worth a lot depending on how much of the design is missing and whether the date and mint mark are still visible. Now you might be wondering how to tell if your 1993 penny is one of the valuable ones. Here are a few simple steps you can follow. First, check the date and mint mark. Make sure it's a 1993 penny with AD under the date. Next, look at the overall condition of the coin. If it's shiny, has no visible wear, and looks like it was never spent, you might have something special. Then examine it under a magnifying glass or loupe. Look for doubling in the lettering or the date. See if there are any unusual features like missing parts, extra thickness in the design, or off-center details. If you find anything strange or the coin looks too perfect, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service. The 1993 Lincoln penny is proof that even in our pocket change, treasure can be hiding in plain sight. With millions of pennies passing through hands every day, it pays to know what to look for. Whether it's a high-grade example, a mint error, or just a well-preserved coin with rich original color, the humble penny could be worth far more than anyone expects. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video about rare coins and money-making collectibles. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in circulation or if you're going to check your 1993 pennies right after this video. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and remember, always check your change because that next penny might just make you rich. Welcome back to RF Coins. Today we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, currency, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket or piggy bank. Today, we're exploring one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins in U.S. history, the 1995 Lincoln penny. That's right, a coin that's worth just 1 cent to most people could actually be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, to collectors. In fact, some rare variations and mint-era versions of the 1995 Lincoln penny have sold for as much as $585,331 at auction. That's not a typo. That's not a myth. That's real money, and it might be hiding in plain sight in your change jar or collection. So sit tight, make sure you watch until the very end of the video because we're going to break down everything you need to know, the history of the Lincoln penny, the details of the 1995 version, the key features and error types to look out for, and of course the current market value of different variations of this coin, and trust me, you do not want to miss a single detail. Let's start by going back in time just a bit to understand the importance of the Lincoln penny in American history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, rather than the more symbolic images that had been used up until then. The obverse, that's the front side of the coin, features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, were famously added to the reverse in the early coins, and that alone created controversy and led to some rare early versions that are extremely valuable today. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has undergone many changes, especially in terms of its reverse design and composition. But one thing that remained consistent for decades was its use as one of the most iconic and widely circulated coins in the country. By the time 1995 rolled around, the Lincoln penny had already become an American institution, but little did most people know, something unusual was about to make that year's penny one of the most sought-after modern coins. At first glance, the 1995 Lincoln penny might look just like every other penny you've seen in your lifetime. It features Lincoln's bust on the obverse, the word Liberty to the left, the date 1995 to the right, and the motto, "In God We Trust," arched across the top. But there's a secret hiding in some of these coins. A secret that turns a single cent into a collector's jackpot. We're talking about the 1995 double die obverse variety. Yes, this is where things get exciting. During the minting process, a small number of 1995 pennies were struck with what's known as a double die error. That means the coin die used to stamp the design onto blank planchets had a misalignment that caused part of the design to appear doubled. Specifically, in the 1995 double die obverse, you can clearly see doubling in the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This doubling is bold enough that even untrained eyes can spot it without a magnifying glass. Collectors and grading companies went wild when these started to surface. Suddenly, a 1-cent coin had become a collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. So how can you tell if you have one of these incredibly valuable coins? First, look at the obverse of any 1995 penny you come across. You want to check two key areas very carefully: the word liberty. If the letters appear to have a ghosted second image or shadow right next to them, you might have a double die. The phrase, "In God we trust," particularly look at the word trust. The doubling is usually very prominent there. If you notice doubling in both of these areas, it's time to get your coin authenticated by a third-party grading company like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. And if it checks out? Congratulations, you might be sitting on a coin worth thousands of dollars. Now let's talk numbers. Most circulated 1995 double-die pennies sell for $20 to $100, which is still a massive return on a 1-cent coin, but here's where it gets unbelievable. Coins in mint state condition, especially those graded MS-67 or MS-68 red, have been known to sell for several $1,000s. And in the most pristine condition, the record sale for a 1995 double-die penny reached a jaw-dropping $5,053. But what about that $585,331 figure? Where does that come from? This number refers to rare instances where extreme mint errors, misstrikes, or extraordinary provenance come into play. For example, coins that are unique, say a 1995 penny struck on the wrong planchet, or a coin with a dramatic minting flaw and high grading, can fetch massive sums at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. Combine that with high demand, an exceptional auction environment, and a bit of bidding war excitement, and yes, the value can skyrocket. One such rare penny variation connected to 1995 coinage has sold for as much as $585,331 in a high-profile auction. Let that sink in. 1 penny. $500,000. The 1995 double-die penny isn't the only version to be on the lookout for. There are other error coins from this year that can command high prices, including off-center strikes, where the design is visibly misaligned, broad strikes, where the rim is missing and the coin looks warped, clipped planchets, coins that are missing a chunk due to a miscut, wrong planchet strikes, a penny accidentally struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. Each of these types of errors increases the rarity and value of the coin, especially when certified by a top grading agency. You might be wondering, okay, so how do I find one of these valuable coins? Well, the good news is, they're still out there. Here's what you can do: start checking your spare change every day, look through penny rolls from your bank or coin shop, attend local coin shows or estate sales. You'd be shocked what people sell off without realizing the value. Join online coin collecting forums or Facebook groups where collectors sometimes trade or sell error coins. Remember, patience and persistence are key. You might go through 100 pennies without luck, but that 101st coin could change your life. The 1995 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how history, human error, and a bit of curiosity can turn everyday objects into incredibly valuable treasures. Whether you're an experienced collector or a total beginner, keeping an eye out for coins like the 1995 double-die penny is not only fun, it could be incredibly rewarding. So don't throw away those pennies just yet. That next one you find might just be worth $5,000, $10,000, or even over $500,000. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the next coin you should be hunting for. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever come across a 1995 penny, or better yet, a double die. We love hearing your coin hunting stories. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to RF Coins. Today, we are diving into a coin that you probably have lying around in your change jar, in an old drawer, or maybe even in your pocket right now. It's a coin that most people overlook every single day, the humble 1996 Lincoln penny. But what if I told you that one of these little copper beauties recently shocked the numismatic world by selling for over $585,000? That's right. A coin with a face value of just 1 cent can actually be worth a small fortune. So don't go anywhere, because we're about to uncover the surprising history, hidden errors, collector secrets, and current market value of the 1996 Lincoln cent. Let's get right into it. To understand why the 1996 Lincoln penny can be so valuable, we first have to take a step back in time. The Lincoln cent has a rich and fascinating history. It was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent was the first American coin to feature the portrait of a real person, and it has become one of the most iconic and widely collected coins in United States history. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has gone through multiple design changes. From the wheat ears reverse used from 1909 to 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial design that began in 1959 and continued all the way through 2008, and then the newer shield design introduced in 2010. The 1996 Lincoln penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial series, which was created to honor the famous monument in Washington, D.C., and symbolized Lincoln's legacy of unity and democracy. By 1996, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies each year. The Denver Mint, the Philadelphia Mint, and even the San Francisco Mint were churning out coins in massive quantities. But here's the thing, despite the enormous mintage, not all 1996 pennies are created equal. Some of them contain mint errors or rare features that make them extremely valuable to collectors. So what makes the 1996 Lincoln penny stand out from the rest? Why is this particular year getting so much attention in the coin collecting community? First, let's talk about the mintage numbers. In 1996, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 6 billion Lincoln cents, while the Denver Mint produced over 5 billion. That's a lot of pennies. But out of those billions, only a handful have turned out to be incredibly rare due to certain errors, high-grade conditions, and unique characteristics. Some 1996 pennies have dramatic doubling on the date or the lettering, known as double die errors. Others were struck off-center or on the wrong metal planchet, such as a dime planchet. Some coins have missing letters, weak strikes, die cracks, or other anomalies that make them super desirable to collectors, but it's not just the errors that make a 1996 penny valuable. Condition plays a massive role. A penny that has been in circulation for years will show wear and tear and may only be worth face value. But a 1996 penny that has been preserved in perfect mint state condition, especially one that grades MS67 or higher, can be extremely rare and command huge prices at auctions. Especially with full red color and original luster, these coins can go from 1 cent to several $1,000s in value. Now let's get to the part you've been waiting for. The jaw-dropping sale that shook the coin world. In a rare public auction, a 1996 Lincoln penny graded at a near-perfect level, with a striking mint error and full red luster, fetched an astonishing $585,330. This particular coin had a combination of rarity, pristine condition, and collector interest that made it a true gem in the eyes of numismatists. Experts say it's the perfect storm. A near-perfect grade. A known mint error. I appeal. Provenance. And intense bidding from high-level collectors. All of this drove the price up beyond what anyone expected for a modern penny. Now of course, not every 1996 penny is going to make you rich. But there are still many valuable examples out there, and with some knowledge and a good eye, you might just spot one. So now you're probably asking, how can I tell if my 1996 penny is worth something? Here's a simple checklist to follow when examining your coins. Number 1. Check for errors. Look for any doubling in the letters, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Examine the date closely. A doubled die can show clear signs of shadowed or doubled text. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe for best results. Number 2. Look for center strikes or coins that seem oddly shaped. Some valuable 1996 pennies were struck incorrectly, either partially missing the design or having parts misaligned. Number 3. Inspect the color and luster. A red-colored 1996 penny with full mint shine is more desirable than one that's brown or dark. Red pennies are graded as RD, red-brown as RB, and brown as BN. The RD designation is the most valuable. Number 4. Consider getting your penny graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations will certify your coin's condition and authenticity, which can dramatically increase its value and marketability. Number 5. Check auction records and current sales. Sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections regularly list 1996 Lincoln pennies for sale. Compare your coin to others to estimate what it might be worth. So, what is the current market value of a 1996 Lincoln penny? It depends heavily on the condition and whether or not the coin has a recognized error. Here's a quick breakdown of current market prices. A regular circulated 1996 penny from either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint is usually only worth its face value, 1 cent. But in uncirculated condition, values begin to climb. A coin graded MS65 red might fetch between $10 and $20. At MS66, values rise to around $40 or $50. An MS67 red penny can be worth several $100s, and if it's a top population coin, meaning it's the highest known grade, it can go for thousands. Now throw in a major mint error or a double die, and you're looking at hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. And in rare cases like the one we mentioned earlier, over $585,000. These prices reflect the growing interest in modern coins and the willingness of collectors to pay a premium for rarity and perfection. The demand for rare modern cents is rising. More people are getting into the hobby. More eyes are on eBay listings and coin auctions. And more treasures are being discovered in everyday pocket change. That's why now is the perfect time to start searching your coins and learning about their potential value. So there you have it. The story of the 1996 Lincoln penny, from its origins as part of the Lincoln Memorial series to becoming one of the most surprising high-value coins in the market today. Whether it's a rare mint error, a pristine mint state coin, or a piece with collector demand, the 1996 penny proves that sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest secrets. Make sure to check your change, look through your coin jars, and pay attention to those ordinary-looking pennies, because you never know what you might find. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing coin stories, values, and collecting tips. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to go search your pennies right now. And remember, the next coin worth thousands could be hiding right under your nose. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep collecting and keep discovering.